in the apocalyptic world, what do you feel is the most disturbing quality of it?
I think it is the pain of seeing past lives walking around as corpses. When you really, we could have fun and say, oh yeah, kill as many zombies as you can. But when you really sometimes look at the details of people, like the big guy in the barbecue joint in the episode with myself and Carl and Rick, where, the kid had written, please do what I couldn't, and about killing his father, who was, this huge guy in his barbecue, whatever restaurant. And you sort of see those sort of pains, where you see even the pain of like walking into that room where all those people, the kids had been shot in the head. You sort of seeing past lives, like, and how they ended, but you're seeing that there were beautiful, vibrant lives that no longer exist as a result of this thing. Or even like for my character, seeing that character, that zombie that looked just like her, and sort of like, who was that chick? Because you can almost see her life. You can see what sort of hair she had. You can see what sort of clothes she liked, which kind of looked like my headband. It's just all these things where you're seeing, those things to me are very tragic, as I was mentioning with the bicycles on, the bicycle girl. Like, that sort of stuff can get you sometimes, because you're seeing lives lost.
Thank you.
Hi. So my question is, personally, I think Michonne is one of the most important characters in The Walking Dead. She has the most, she has a really big fan base. And my mom and I, for example, we've come to the Awesome Con just to see you. So, yeah, why do you think Michonne has so much love from the Walking Dead followers?
I don't know, you have to tell me. I do once again have to hand it to Kirkman, because, she was loved before I was her, and, she was sort of looking at me like, what you going to do? I'm Michonne, so like she was her own entity, and I just sort of tried to get in there, embrace and let her embrace me, but, so once again, that's really Kirkman. But, and I think just creating this sort of woman that has this sort of complexity, that, was mysterious, but, hard. I think when I do encounter women, I don't know, like women like her because she's tough, and I think there's something very unapologetic about her in the beginning, at least, and she still has that. Now she's just willing to crack a smile more, but there's something very unapologetic about how she was tough. And I think sometimes as women in our current realm, sometimes we're a little apologetic about our strength, and she really isn't. And she wasn't trying to make anybody comfortable, which I loved, actually. I'm not a people pleaser, but she's really not a people pleaser. And I guess women really dug that. They would tell me that a lot. And that really meant a lot to me, especially when young girls told me that they liked that. And the idea of accessing your power. And I don't know, sometimes some guys like tough chicks, I don't know. So it was kind of this combination. I really don't know, but I just give it to Kirkman, because he created her. She was this chick who was strong and interesting and complex and had a sword, and that's all I'm Kirkman said. I just got to play her,
Thank you. I love you.
Hi, I'm Saeed, and I want to know why Rick said Carol is, Carl is for you once you knocked on the door.
You don't watch the show though, do you? How old are you? Okay, well. Not quite double digits, but you're getting there. Great to meet you, Saeed. You seem very smart and very handsome. He loved that line, and I loved that line too. And they said they had different endings for how that could have gone down. Like they played the idea for actually going inside the house, and things like that. But I thought it was so great because, you know, he knows how close Michonne and his son are, and it was just so, and he knows that the loss of all those people was so hard on Carl. And it was just really exciting to see, number one, that, you know, one of the people they care about is still alive, but also it's the person that Carl was closest to, you know, and Carl and him had been going through some hard relationship stuff. So it was kind of great to see someone that he knew Carl really loved be at the door. So I think that's kind of where that came from. But I loved that line. I thought it was really sweet. A great way to end the episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Asada, and I would like to know, who do you think is more powerful or the leader, you or Rick?
That's a good question.
10.
Okay, double digits. Well, I think that Rick is the leader, and I think that Michonne respects Rick, and she believes in Rick. She doesn't hang out that long with someone she does not respect and believe in. Because with the governor, she was out with Rick. She could see this guy is bad at the core, and she can see with Rick, this man is great at the core. And so she has a respect for him. She's willing, you know, she actually wants to enhance that part of him sometimes. Because like that scene in episode, was it 11, where I always think in numbers, that's how we work. I know you guys, I don't know, you guys think in the name of the episode and I think in numbers, but episode 11 was when they were in the house together, and then Michonne and Carl go out and Rick meets the bad guys in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, she says to him, like, what's the plan? And she really is trying to, she can see that he's at a weak place, and, you know, they lost the prison, and he's been beaten down by the governor, literally. But she believes in his leadership abilities, you know, so she actually wants to remind him that's who he is. She could just say, let's go here, let's do this, let's do that. She could do that. But she chooses to ask him what the plan is because she wants him to remember who he is. And so I think, yeah, Michonne definitely has leadership components, but at the same time, she really respects Rick, and she wants him she wants to keep him in his identity, which is a leader. Rick is a leader. But, you know, Michonne could lead too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I think you're just a fantastic actress. I've seen you since The Visitor, and I thought you were tremendous. And you have great sword skills, so I think you could play any Shakespearean character, male or female.
I really want to play Hamlet, actually.
Well, I just want to ask you, is there any role that would tempt you to return to DC and perform at the Shakespeare Theater?
You know, I love Shakespeare, I do, and I was, you know, I did, of course, I did Shakespeare in the Park in New York City. The last time I did a play, it was Measure for Measure in Central Park. So I love me some Shakespeare. DC Shakespeare. I could easily do that. That's not something I want to do. I would love to do that. I want to do an all-female Hamlet.
Hi. So, given your character's history with the governor, during the big final fight at the prison, after you ran through the sword, why did you decide not to kill him?
Well, I think she figured that was going to do the trick.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any, you know, cardiologists around. So I think she figured once the sword going through the heart was going to take care of him, and she wasn't going to kill him off because she wanted him to turn. Really, he didn't deserve to be like killed. So, but the blow was fatal. The guy, she just put him down before he fully died, but she knew there was no way he was going to recover from that blow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In an interview once, you said that you didn't really like to watch horror movies or TV shows that much.
Yes.
And I just want to know, has working on The Walking Dead changed your mind about that?
Absolutely not. I can watch my horror show. That is it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi,
Hi.
my question
question is, having read the comics and watching the show, I feel Michonne is different in the comics versus the show.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, which would you prefer, the version of Michonne in the comics or how you portray Michonne on the show?
Well, I think there were some very definite choices that were made. She definitely was more into the boys in the books. And made that obvious very quickly. And you know, and I think that what's interesting about the show though, and I mean, there are also components of like her mental health in the book that are not in the show, you know, talking to herself, things like that. But I think that what I found interesting was there were some components. I was like, are we gonna get to that? That could be interesting to play with. But I like how in the show, you know, with a TV show, you have to arc a person over, hopefully over some seasons. So you have to start them off somewhere, but you know, and not show everything right from the get-go. And what I liked is that, you know, I'm definitely playing a kind of a different chick than I was playing a year ago. And there's a sort of an evolution that's sort of been happening to her on the show, which TV allows. So I kind of like that they made her kind of very mysterious and cut off and then sort of start to open her and open. We don't know where that's going to lead to. So maybe they'll start to merge more, the one in the book and the one on TV, or not. But I think that there's so many components in the book that's like raw material that you can take and use in the TV version now that she's more kind of, you know, she's a little less like closed off from connecting with people and things. So, but yeah, I mean, there are components of how she, you know, she's kind of almost mentally unstable at times in the book that I don't know if that's what we'll get to in the show. I have no idea. But I find, you know, there's so much interesting raw material to pull from that I don't really have a preference for which one it is. I just think it's all kind of fun to play with eventually, whichever way we do on the show. Because TV kind of they're creating it as we go. You know?
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
With the Michonne and Governor story, in the comic we kind of know why Michonne hates the governor and wants to cause him pain, but I didn't really feel the same was clear to me in the TV series. So what did you use as your reason?
Well, I think for her, I mean, in the book, it was very clear. He did some very specific things to her. In the show, it was more connected to her actual pain, her own PTSD, and how quickly she had a vigilance response to threat. And the idea that this man had threatened her stability, and for her, she felt stable out in the world with her one friend that's all she needed. She'd opened up to one person. And that's all she needed since the loss of her husband or man and her son. It was one person, and he takes that from her. And then, and she can feel something that she's very intuitive about, but she's just not at a place where she can process communicating clearly. And that's where she is at the beginning of when we first meet Michonne. So she's not going to really communicate this guy, these are the reasons why, this is what I've noticed. She just intuitively can see and she can tell. And he can tell that she can tell. And so there's things that are culminating for her in terms of like, this is a person that could really cause me pain and take away the person I love, and I've already had that happen to me. And so there is a lot of PTSD happening in her in response to him. And then she does leave, like, you know, when he takes her sword from her and starts trying to, you know, use it, of course she really lets him know that that's not happening. And also suggesting she come and become one of his goons, which she would rather kill him on the spot than do that, because no one's going to take away her freedom. And that's what working for him would be. And then, but the loss of Andrea, she accepts it, she walks out of the prison. She leaves, not the prison, the Woodbury, which is like a prison. She leaves Woodbury, but the thing that I think people always forget is that he sent Merle out to kill her. People forget that part. Merle and his goons came out to kill her, and she knew that they weren't, and she told this to Andrea, he does not just let you go. And when he comes out there and actually sends these guys out there to actually take her life, and she knows they're coming, and that's exactly what they were coming to do, and she has to fight them down. That's when I think she's just really done. And she really, her vigilance PTSD type response really kicks in. It's like, you don't just try and take me down and think I'm gonna walk away. At that point, she can't walk away from the fight. So she goes back home.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We got 10 more minutes before we have to stop. So that's probably maybe 5 more questions.
I'll try to answer as fast as I can.
Sorry.
Hello, I was wondering if the zombie apocalypse was a reality and you were a survivor that group in the prison, what role would you play since you're being very different from the show?
Say that again.
If you were a survivor in the real zombie apocalypse,
Okay.
the event Rick
Oh, okay, I hear you. I do have some Michonne in me. I am a fighter. I don't like back down too easily. You know, I've had to. I was born with the lioness in me. I've had to find my lamb. So, you know, I do have that in me. I think that I hope and pray that if it does hit, I'm somewhat like my character. She's taught me a thing or two, definitely. Thank you.